Well, the one Sam got us was coffee porter, and that's just too much. It's just like, oh yeah, it's good for one glass. Not to be a snob, but I like my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what happens when you drink coffee porter all the time? You just have yourself a wide awake drunk.
Yep. You're peeing all the time.
That's what I remember when I was in college and we were talking. We had to take these classes on, not classes, but because we were RAs, we were dorm, in charge of stuff, not to feed a drunk person coffee, because that was the old adage. That was the old feed them coffee, that'll sober them up. No, you just have a wide awake drunk. Mm-hmm. That's all you end up with.
And if they're belligerent, you have.
Yeah, you just have a wide awake, and then just longer.
Drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jack was one of the best at that. Did I ever tell you that we once did a Port Townsend crit? And
I never did that one.
It was a cool race, and it was sponsored by this company called Pommet Cider, and we didn't know as kids. As juniors, it was fucking alcoholic. And we just grabbed bottles and bottles and bottles, and they let us grab it. And Jack got pretty toasted on the way home. That's
where it started.
Yeah.
Right there, that's ground zero.
That was it. It's so much so that my sister intentionally drove over to Redmond so we could make him ride on the track, just to shut him up for a while. He just rode hard on the track about 30 laps, and then he was too tired.
On a fixed gear? Or
on his road bike. On his road bike. He just hopped on it, and we rode around a little bit and played around, and then he was too tired, so he fell asleep on the drive home. He was just, classic Jack, just talk. And it was
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
I've still got his fucking Christmas present here. In
the middle of the week, he'll text you.
Yeah.
About that.
Hey, you home?
Listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. He starts listening. Oh, I gotta make a trip to Spokane.
Yeah. Well, this is the green room part. I usually edit this part out.
Oh yeah.
This is just a privilege for the live listener. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't like Jack. Nobody likes Jack.
Oof.
I'm joking. Jack's sitting at home, little tear coming down to the corner of his eye.
First time I listened to it live.
Yeah. Fell into his old fashioned. His 18-ounce old fashioned.
It's in a big gulp. With the plastic handle.
Melts through the styrofoam.
Yeah.
I was thinking two other visuals was one of those hats with the straws coming into your mouth. Yeah. Or a Stanley.
A Stanley.
He's got a Stanley in old fashioned. Helps the ice stay cold.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can mix it in there too.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Hey.
There he is, yeah.
I was just about to start.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys miss me?
Who are you?
I knew it.
Only my mom.
Amazing.
It's
Look at
the
that.
shave.
It is.
It's the
You're
shave.
like 10 years younger.
Thank you. So I look 50?
Yep.
Okay.
You're getting dangerously close to 60.
Did you know? Wait.
Nah, that's old.
You don't actually think that's 10 years, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Just wanted to be sure.
It's the new math. Do you want an NA?
I don't know yet, because I really love these Oktoberfest.
Just split the difference and do a CL Smooth.
What? God, no. All right, I'm going to start here.
We're out of pills on the tap, by the way, but we have Kolsch. We have Kolsch and
How am I supposed to
IPA.
get pervy?
What?
How am I supposed to get pervy?
Well, we'll get more.
Okay, good.
Yeah. David's not here, so that's why we're fine, because he doesn't. He's the one who drinks. Does he drink mostly that?
Yeah, I think so.
When we went there the other night, this isn't gonna make it. This is really bad. Wow, that is a really cold glass.
Well, that's what happens when you get them out of the
when
fridge.
you put it in the freezer.
Like a frost layer. I love the lighting down here, guys. So much has changed.
Because
The blind.
I know, I love it.
That just went in today. Another thing for me to have no money. Come on. Let's get the audio working the way it should. We're technically not live yet, right? Right.
Yeah. Sure.
We got the old gang back. Well, your brother's not here.
Well, that's fine.
He doesn't
He's not
count?
part of the gang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, He's just that one that we drag along.
your parents are like, take your brother.
Yeah.
Mom, he's a dork. I don't care.
Yeah.
You take your brother.
Yeah, that was, honestly, that's David. That was our childhood.
Really?
Yeah, he was want to hang out with me. I'm like, loser, leave.
That's really sad.
And then he turned out to be smarter than me, faster riding a bike. So now I just hate him for a different set of reasons.
You're a good example. He's like, I don't want to be like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything he does, I'll do better.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opposite. Hey, the Vuelta continues to surprise. The summer continues to hold on here. And by the way, white shoes, if you're going by regular fashion standards, are no longer allowed. It is after Labor Day. No white shoes. That includes
no
cycling,
white
right?
Pants.
No, it's no white shoes either.
It's pants.
I don't know.
I thought it was pants.
Yeah, pants, shirts.
No white after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
White's off.
Yep. Welcome to
about time.
welcome to the continuing saga that is bikes, beer, and bullshit. Welcome to this Packfiller Cycling Podcast. We are live in the Rim Break Bar, aka the Packfiller Moody Lit Studio, on our YouTube channel as well as our home at packfiller.com. I'm Pat Bulger, and with me are several, but not all, of the Packfiller pundits. Sam got free of his brother for one night. Just to see who is here, let's start with tonight's prologue question. Gentlemen, what is something you are looking forward for fall? Are you a pumpkin spice person?
PSLs. Pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, yummy! So that's my question for you. So hopefully Paul's ready to go because first off, he's got a new bike.
Frame.
Mr. Palmain.
New frame.
Well, look, there looked like a lot of God, that theme is shorter and shorter every night when I ramble on for 4 minutes.
Well, we
when
interrupt.
you get closer and closer to 50.
Yeah.
Not letting you live that one down.
That was a joke.
No, I know.
Should have said
And
that
it's called a recall.
Yeah.
He's recalling the joke.
Yeah.
That's all.
See?
Not
He
too
still
much.
We're
has
both
it.
You're
joking.
making, you,
Yeah.
Since you're getting
but your
closer to
joke is at
60.
my expense.
It
Oh, when
isn't
did that-
everybody's.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh God. Okay. How are you, Paul?
Good, good.
Fuck. What's something you were looking forward for fall?
For it to go away. And then winter gone.
Spring is here.
I'm not looking forward. This is September I can deal with. And we've had this discussion before on the bike.
Yeah.
First couple of weeks in October are tolerable. Then it's living hell until March.
It's dark
It's awful.
and depressing.
Oh,
and,
God.
yeah. When we lose the daylight, it does
It
get a little
hurts.
depressing. Yeah. Second off, I'm going with a got. So Paul got a new bike. Sam's got a big butt. Mr. Sam Waples.
Cannot lie.
And that's not a bad thing.
I know.
Got big butts.
I'm about to get back into the. Maybe
Can't
that's what
deny.
I'm looking forward to is getting back into the gym, building that booty. Booty work. No, I think like what I'm most excited for is the team rides again. Because like this summer, I mean, first off, just being really busy with the house and gone all the time. So I had to like ride really early in the morning if I rode. So I'm just excited like the team rides to be at like 10, 11 when it's like warming up, you know, and it's like those fall team rides are freaking awesome. Those will get me through the winter.
That's optimistic. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Next, he's got the only cat in the world that I like, Mr. Jackson Bulger.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Jimmy's cool.
He is.
Jimmy's down.
Jimmy's down.
Jimmy's cool. Jimmy likes you.
Jimmy's a cat.
It's Seinfeld references.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
you have
didn't-
no life.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Good.
What are you looking forward to for fall?
In some ways, I'm kind of like Paul a little bit. I think I look forward to the warmer weather every year, and fall usually means that the warmer weather's starting to go away. But we have a while.
We have about 10 or 12 days of 90 degrees here still left.
Yeah. But I really have, over the past few years, begun to enjoy professional football.
Yeah,
And
you
I play
have.
fantasy football, and I get really into fantasy football. So I'm excited for that.
Guess who didn't start the timer?
Oh, that would be
Guess
you.
you didn't start the record. I'll start it now.
Okay.
But it won't matter because I'll just basically have to get the whole thing off of YouTube later.
Well,
I'm a fucking idiot. That's twice. That's
In
twice.
the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's twice in the last month that I have not started the recorder of the show. Anyway, sorry, Jackson.
No, I get really into that because it's just a fun form of competition that's not really that serious.
Yeah.
But I take it very seriously. So I'm excited for that.
Me, I've got 10 pounds to lose. Still, I'm Pat Bulger. And I am looking forward to long sleeves. I love long sleeves. I always have. Long sleeve jerseys, I love them. I've got 2 versions of long sleeve jerseys. I've got the thin one, and I've got the warmer one, and I've got the thermal one. I've got 3 long sleeve jerseys. I love that shit. I love long sleeves. You don't?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd take long sleeve jersey over arm warmers any day. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love
would
long
rather
sleeve
like
t-shirts.
have like short sleeve and vest and all that stuff.
Really?
I don't know.
It's
It's just
too much.
yeah.
To me, there's a period of time that, if you just look at the weather, it's not going to get above 50, then long sleeve. If it's going to get like pushing 60, then you do arm warmers. You peel them off. You start climbing.
God, he's built different.
Yeah. Arm warmers, I don't know why. I like long sleeve t-shirts. I like long sleeve dress shirts, even though I've got this one rolled up.
Mm-hmm.
I like this time of year. I do. I love September and October.
Love getting cozy.
October is why I live in Spokane.
I
think it's
do agree.
beautiful.
Fall is fantastic.
Late October.
here.
Yeah, once we get close to November, it starts to suck ass. But, it's
When
good.
the rain hits and things
Yeah.
are like dead leaves,
Yeah.
that's when it's depressing.
Yeah.
Let's all be honest here. After Christmas, actually no, after New Year's, it sucks.
I could do
The
without New
season
Year's.
sucks.
Yeah, I go to Maui.
But
Yeah.
it's just, but
You know who's going to Maui this year?
Who? You are? David is?
With me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, you guys want to make this a whole team training camp?
No,
Nope.
I gotta go to.
They gotta
Going to Belgium.
Stupid Belgium.
Yeah.
Whoa!
What about you?
I just want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
that was it.
I think your mom
What about
wants
me?
to.
Marie and I would love to go to Hawaii. We talk about it all the time.
There you go.
I mean, I'm going to Maui and I'm also going to France for the tour next year.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
I love how you said that really kind of mumbly on an audio podcast.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to like not rub it in, but now I guess I should just
You
rub
should.
it in.
You
Yeah.
should.
My
How's that-
life's better.
How's everybody's cycling lives? How was the last
Oh,
week?
that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the last week? Who rode more than 3 times?
Well, okay, here I didn't ride more than 3 times. I rode twice and I ran twice. So
That's getting dangerously close to another activity that we don't talk about.
you
on
start
this.
swimming and the shit
And you're
goes up.
done.
You're sitting outside.
I feel like I would need adult swim lessons to be a good swimmer.
I would too.
I'm a bad swimmer.
Do you need like the wing things?
No, he could swim.
No,
I don't know. There's not a lot of body fat there. He might just sink.
See,
That
Yeah.
is a problem I have. No, it's just I don't use my feet enough. Yeah, and I do need wings. I need the Spider-Man ones specifically.
Because they're cool.
Yeah, but I got a new pair of shoes, and that has helped me a little bit with the running because my legs were destroyed the last time I ran. But,
hurts?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a pair of On Clouds.
Oh, okay.
I really like that brand. But yeah, I did that, and I feel really good. Paul and I went on a ride on Saturday, and I felt great. So yeah.
Cool.
Because
Been
he's
good.
riding with me, and there's
Oh, Jesus.
no effort.
Sam?
And I'm going to summarize the last 2 weeks because there's only 2 rides in that.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
okay.
it's tanked at this
Yeah.
point. But I do have a great gravel race this weekend.
Oh my God. Perfect preparation.
Yes, because cross is coming.
Oh, God. Not to
but
Spokane, it's not.
It is not.
Yeah.
But I took out a steel frame bike for the local race ride I host. Yeah, my dad's 91 Serrata. I died. There is I'm honestly curious to know your guys' opinion. Do those things go above 25 miles an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Were you sure of that, though?
Yes.
Damn right.
Down.
Downhill.
On flats, too.
Yeah, on flats.
No way.
In my day, and this is not exaggerating, in my day, I could sprint at 40 miles an hour
Yep, same.
on a road bike, on a steel road bike.
No.
Yeah, I could hit 40.
I'm telling you, I would spin that thing up to 25 on this group ride, and I am like, anything over that, my eyes are crossing, and I'm like, what is happening to my body? I mean, maybe I'm just drinking too much now that it's fall about here, but like I swear, it's a light bike. It's a sweet bike. You guys have seen it?
Yeah.
It doesn't go very fast.
I've got a steel bike.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe this is me.
It is. Paul, how many rides you get?
I had one with Jackson.
Just
the
the
other
one?
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I was busy, kind of, family things, some obligations, and then also I got a new frame. Because the old one we talked about, I had to cut it up. I haven't cut it up.
You haven't cut it up yet?
No.
Okay.
Wait, so what bike did you ride with Jackson?
The Cervelo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
God,
No,
nice
no,
having
it's
two
not
bikes.
nice. It's not.
What?
I've come to he had to listen. Jackson had to listen to my.
I didn't have
Complain
to
about it?
Was
Yeah, it's just like fuck. This thing, it's the way you technology goes. This thing's like riding a brick, and I told Jackson, I don't know how. In
This
the hell,
segment sponsored by Cervelo Cycles.
I don't
We're
know.
never gonna get a bike
mind
sponsor.
Mind you, that's a 2012.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the exact same frame that won 2 Roubaix on a 23C tire. And I'm like, whew, I need a kidney belt. I was like pissing blood. This thing was, Jesus. It was terrible. It's set up exactly like my BMC. I mean, everything. And it rides completely different. You
Wow.
can tell.
Yeah.
I can use the same wheels as the BMC and everything. And it's like, no, there's noticeable.
Speaking of pounded, I only rode once this week. Once. But boy, was it a ride.
wonderful.
No. My
What?
wife
It
and
was
I
a tandem.
my wife and I went to technically we went to Twisp, Washington. It was right outside of Whitworth. Winthrop. Beautiful area. Beautiful trails. The roads are great. The community's really cool. And I got on Ride with GPS, and I just searched this specific area, and I looked for anything, with, kind of open roads, anything like that I could find. I found a loop that said it was 14 miles. It should take us about an hour. It was 1,900 feet of climbing for the whole 14 miles, which sounds like, that's quite a bit.
High.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit. So I was like, honey, let's just do this. Let's see what's going on. So we take our tandem out to this place. I realized I had forgotten water bottles. I didn't pack water bottles. So we stopped at a bike shop and we bought 2 water bottles, filled them up. I was like, it says it's going to be an hour. I mean, we should be fine. Now, it was 11 o'clock on August afternoon, and it was in the 90s. Clip in. The second we clipped in, we were climbing. We climbed about 1,700 feet right out of the gates. Right out of the fucking gates. 95 degrees. And then from there, we got to this place where these people were unloading their car. After we climbed all this. And we're like, I said, hey, you guys know the trails around here? Yeah, they said, yeah. And I said, okay, where does the loop start from here? And they're like, oh, it's just right over there. So we go over to this area, and it is pretty technical. It is even more climbing. And it is, my wife hates side hill traverses. Single track side hill. Yeah. With technical stuff. And so this 1 hour ride, I turned us around when we still had 7 miles left. I said, we know what's behind us. We don't know what's in front of us. We walked because the tandem wheelbase is so long. If you take a tight turn on a single track, your partner's going off the cliff. and so we walked for, first of all, the ride took us over 3 hours with 1 bottle each. With a 22-ounce bottle each. We ran out of water, and we walked for probably at least an hour and a half. And by the time we got to the car, Michelle's behind me. She says, "You doing okay?" "No." "Do you want to stop?" "No." I got lightheaded. My ears were ringing more than they normally do, and I was a drummer in a band in the 90s. And I was whimpering, she said, coming down the descent because I couldn't let off the brakes, so I couldn't rest my hands. This whole choppy gravel road coming back down, sections of 13-14% descending. And we got to the car, and I honestly was a destroyed man. And I looked at my phone, at my head unit, and I went, we rode 12 miles. That was it. And it took us 3 hours. And she looked at me and she said, can I say that was a bad ride? I said, yeah, you can say it was a bad ride. What do you think I fucking did? Yeah. Oh, she was not happy. She was not comfortable. She, especially all the walking we did. By the way, mountain bike shoes claim you can walk in them. They're not fucking hiking shoes, man. They are not like a Hoka trail runner.
Yeah.
Okay. They are horrible, especially when you're planning on doing it for more than an hour. Mm-hmm. So that was my ride, and that kind of wants to me to that's what I wanted to take you guys into this. Bad days on the bike. Let's talk about bad days on the bike. Either when luck just turns its head on you, just says, eat shit, like Wout today. When the body just won't play along, when the other riders are complete douchebags, that kind of thing. Those types of days. So talk to me about a time that a bad day, when I say bad day on the bike, what would be the first moment that really rings to the top and brings it home? Like, oh shit, it was blah, blah, blah. Somebody,
No, you got a couple of hours.
Yeah. Everybody's got it.
That's some really bad luck over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I would say one of the greatest achievements, but one of the hardest days that I've had on the bike was probably when we rode BWR.
Yeah.
Because that was like the day when I really found out that... do you want me to tell the story?
Absolutely.
Okay. That was the day I really found out that long distances might just not be my thing. And I found that out this last summer when we had to ride 90 miles at full tilt. But yeah, it was just, I was great for, I would say, 4 hours. But once 4 hours ticked over, because this took me 11 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's
131
miles. And 13,000 feet of climbing. Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. But then once 4 hours ticked over, I was like, no, not even. Once half the day ticked over, it was like, okay, this needs to be done. Because then it's not like it's not the fitness anymore. It's just like, can you handle your body breaking down for that long?
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I was throwing up. I was shivering. It was dark. It was a dark, dark place. But mind you, my competitive nature, I was coming into that final mile, and what they do is they send you up this they sent you around this what was it, like a crit course?
Yeah,
it was like a cyclocross crit course, and so because they wanted to show off their crit cross, whatever
everybody gets to ride around the course, which is around the trade area.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at him go, and you're just like, what have he done?
So you're like a mile. You're 130 miles, and then you have to do this course, and the course starts with a cement climb that was probably, I would say, over 10%.
Yeah.
And so you have to sprint up that, and then you're going around, and I turn around and there's a guy coming after me, and so I'm like, I don't care how shelled I am. I got to beat this one guy for 375th spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I sprinted that last bit, and that was a cold, cold day.
Was that a day that you were like, I think I could maybe not be a bike rider for a while?
That was the day when I honestly said, I don't like gravel riding anymore.
Because you were Mr. Gravel Boy for a while there. You were like, you seen these Ted King videos, Dad? I'm into this.
I was super into it. And then have you really seen me ride it that much after?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's because it's
sucks.
It sucks. I hate being out for more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
It sucks.
All right. Sam, bad day.
Man, in the last year I've had like 4. I feel like crashing my bike. That sucked this year.
Dragging
Like,
bottom bracket.
yeah.
What was a day in out your career that you just went? You got home and you were potentially like, I always make the joke of Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid, where he comes home after being beat up by the Cobra Kai guys.
Never want to get on my bike again.
Because he got caught on his bike. They caught up to him. And he's like, stupid bike. I hate this bike. You throw it in the dumpster.
Yeah.
What was a day that you were like, I don't care. Fuck this shit.
It's about every year. It happens one time. Like I say that to people. I'm like, oh, you just people come in and just describe a horrible ride they had. I'm like, oh, you had your worst ride of the year.
Really?
Every year. Like it happens every year. But I think that like the biggest one for me was probably the across the state trip, because it went from such a high of like we are crushing this to like my brother telling me like we're still 60 miles from home and realizing that's 3 hours of pain that I have to live through. That was, and I got there and everybody's having this cathartic experience, crying, hugging, and I just put my bike down and I just went to bed. I was like, I don't need any of this. I don't even want to I don't want to talk to any of you. I don't want to like think about ever riding my bike again. I'm done.
Wow.
And that was a low, but I think that was also just because of the high of the day of like, oh my gosh, we're riding across the entire state, to like absolute no energy death. I mean, I was about ready to get off the bike at that point, like when we were just riding through Wilbur.
Yeah.
Wilbur, Washington.
Wilbur.
Look it up.
Wilbur's got a good burger place.
Do they?
Yeah,
they also have a good like little golf course, it looks like, with a bunch of RV parks around it.
They do.
Some wineries.
Yeah. Wineries. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know if Whitestone's around, but they used to have their vineyards there.
Really?
Wow.
See? You should have stopped. You should have.
They used to be called the Wilbur Redskins. Not anymore.
Not anymore. You don't
Wilbur. I know this because I'm from Reardon. We played basketball.
Yeah.
So.
You had your loaned jockstrap that was bleached.
Yeah. It's shredded.
Here's my impression of Paul's jockstrap.
I've had it. No more.
Paul, talk to me about him.
I've got several. Everybody
effing
has
day.
them, but I'm gonna. Probably the worst one I've mentioned before, but it was probably several years ago on this show. Was going over Blanchard Pass and then back with the freewheel days and broke an axle because I hit a pothole, and then it went from freezing rain to snow, and it was a 120-mile ride. Again, you hit that 4-hour mark and you're like, no. But I'll go back to my very first 100-mile ride. There's a local guy that I met when I first bought my bike, and this is early 85. And he lived in Cheney, and he drove up next to me while I was riding on the Cheney-Spokane Road. I won't say his name, but we know him. We called him OTB off the back. Good rider, could ride at 22 miles an hour for days.
Yeah.
Somebody would attack. You're like, well, there goes OTB.
Okay.
And then the pack slows down a little bit. Yeah, he's back on again. Same speed. Crits were like nothing for him. But anyway, so he pulled me over and he said, "Hey, did you ride quite a bit?" And I said, "I just started getting into it." And he goes, "Well, I was clocking you, going pretty fast." He goes, "You want to go out for a ride?" Sure. I didn't know anybody, so we rode a couple of training rides together. And he says, "Want to do a century?" "What's that?" And he goes, "We'll start. We'll meet at Coeur d'Alene, and then we'll ride around Coeur d'Alene Lake." I said, "Okay, that sounds pretty good." I have one bottle cage because I'm a beginner. This is 1985. Yeah, and like a 23-pound bike.
By the way, because I'm a beginner, I just did that last weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's
rookie mistake, dipshit.
Well,
Pat
and
Folger.
I only had one cage because I couldn't afford much, right?
Yeah.
So I had this bike, no spares. I have no tubes, nothing to fix anything. I had no money because I was broke. I spent it all on the bike.
Spend it all on that and then the water bottle.
Yeah.
So we meet up and we start riding, and we're hammering because this is what you do on a bike because it's a lot of fun. We get to Harrison. I'm like, whew, I don't feel so good.
How far is that into the ride, would you
That's
say?
about almost at the halfway point. So we're about 50 miles into it. We're on the back side of the lake. So you got it 50 miles to go either way. Whether you go back.
Yeah, it's a loop now. Yeah.
You're in.
And so OTB says, "Hey, I think, do you have any food?" I said, "No. Do you?" "No."
Oh, shit.
And I said, do you have any water? He goes, no. I said, we got to find a place. So we found a place at Harrison. Didn't have, neither one of us had. I said, he goes, you got any money to buy anything? I said, no. And I said, and he said, well, what do you think you're doing at Century? I don't know. I ate a lot of rice the night before. That's all I. So we started going around, and on the backside, you have to climb over a 4th of July pass. And I'm seeing stars. But before that, I'm sitting there like starving. I'm just like, blood sugar's like totally low. And all I'm looking at is Cogset, and he's not doing well either. And he's like, if we were in Wenatchee, we'd just stop and grab an apple. And I'm like,
well, we're not, asshole.
Yeah. And I thought, this train reminds me around home. And they have like these wild, like small little apples. And I go, apple trees. There was literally an apple tree. We knocked on this trailer, and the guy had like 4 of these trees. Can we have some of your apples? Well, they're not ripe yet, but you can help yourself. They usually just feed the deer. I said, okay, we need to fill up with water. And he's like looking at this. I filled my pockets full, and I was like chomping down these apples. And about 10 miles into this thing, all of a sudden, fuck my gut.
Oh,
I was just like, not good. So we hit 4th of July pass, and I hit something, and I hear, well, I can't fix it. And then so OTB stops, and he's like, well, you got a tube? No, it cut the tire anyway. And I said, do you have one? And he goes, no. I thought you'd bring one. This is. So I just started walking. I'm 20 miles away from the destination, and I'm walking, and it is like 100 degrees. And I'm like, this just sucks. This sucks. And for some reason, as I'm walking, I'm right next, and this is an interstate. Now we're on the interstate. I kept thinking, when I get home, I'm going to buy a can of green beans and eat the whole thing. I don't know. I don't like green beans. Well, I do now. That was the turning point. It was like, I just kept thinking about green beans. And so this truck stops. You need a ride? Yeah, buddy. Just throw the bike in the back. And I'm thinking, I probably stench. And they were like, I could see his wife go, make this pull a face. And it's like, oh. And so we start going and we get down the hill. And Duke went on. Whoops. OTB went on.
OTB. Yeah.
And so, hey, there's my buddy, honk the horn. And I drive by. He's shattered. He just like looks, and I'm like smiling, waving at him. So we get into Coeur d'Alene. He just rode right past me. Hey, OTB. He just blew and just rode his bike right into the lake and just went. We didn't have any money to buy any food there, so we're driving all, that was terrible. I was seeing stars. So it really was bad. It was a bad experience.
Can we be honest? Isn't cycling pretty much a bad day, but followed by endorphins?
Yeah.
I mean,
and
think
stories.
about a bike race. It hurts like shit. It hurts like hell.
Unless you're the best. Which has happened like maybe once in my life.
Yeah.
Like there's been one time where I'm like, I'm faster than everybody here. And it's like you can just lay down the hammer and they're all just your puppets, right?
So it just, But
every other time, yes.
So let's say if I know a guy who's in his 50s and has been racing since minus 10, who's been racing since he was 13. Mm-hmm. So a long fucking time. Mm-hmm. That person has probably had maybe 10 of those days, right?
It sounds like you're pretty good early on.
Yeah. I mean, but those days where you can just crush, you can just lay.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant bad days.
No. And the rest of them have all just been suffering, and then thank God the endorphins come, and then I have a story afterwards about a can of green beans.
Yeah, that's about it.
What a stupid activity.
And then he invested all of his side money into a podcast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I said to my wife, when I got to the car, I'm saying, shit, I wish I could do a podcast about golf. And she stopped me. She said, you wouldn't really do that, would you? And I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, fuck no. And I said, this whole ride, this whole experience of us in utter hell is going to make a good story. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you sure?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I could probably find a good marriage counselor for you. If you need
God.
one.
Well, that's what we call our tandem.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That'll settle it.
Oh, my God. Okay. Thank you. Speaking of bad days, let's talk about the Vuelta. Wout van Aert has abandoned the Vuelta after he crashed on the descent of the Collada Lomena. I hope I got that right. Collada Lomena.
There you go.
Collada Lomena. My Mena. Your Mena. On stage 16, the rider injured his left knee when he crashed with a shade over 50K remaining. I'm reading compared text, obviously. Having led over the first two climbs of the stage as part of the day's break. He attempted to rejoin the race after receiving a replacement bike, but if you saw his face, you would know that there was something more going on. Definitely his knee. He stopped again a few hundred meters later, climbing into the Visma team car, leading the sprint jersey and the mountain jersey. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the woes of Wout this year, what he has gone through. Mm-hmm. 3 stages he took in this year's Vuelta, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Everything like sunshine and roses.
Jersey, yeah, it was locked.
Yeah. Everything looked like sunshine and roses and lollipops. And now he's potentially done for the season yet again. Talk about a bad day. Mm-hmm. Talk about dealing with blows. Oh my God. How do you keep going? Okay, time to rehab again. Time to come back.
I just think of you see somebody's a rider's luck, right? We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
And wow, it was just he was unbeatable for so long. I remember him wearing the yellow jersey and then attacking off the front and just time trialing in, right?
Yeah.
He was just on an absolute high, but at some point you pay for that. It seems like, right? But we've seen that before with Peter, right? Peter Sagan.
Yeah.
Just winning, could do no wrong, and then it was just ugh.
Well, Wout's still early in the game here.
Absolutely.
Though. Yeah.
But Peter was still pretty young when he...
But he didn't have the bad luck of crashing. What was it, Doors, where he crashed and he broke his sternum this year? This is Wout.
Yeah.
To me, that... I don't know. I think Visma Lisa Bike had to pay the devil back for last year.
I agree. Yeah.
They were unstoppable. They couldn't do anything wrong. Now they can't do anything right. Mm-hmm. And especially with Wout, he had to focus on the early spring classics and one little, classic race. He's out. He misses it all. His rehab is the Tour, and he starts to shine, and then he comes in the Vuelta. Yeah. And he's just I'm thinking he's unstoppable. Yeah. And then, bam, he's down he goes. Yeah.
Visma, Lisa Bike leaders, lying in his room one night thinking about how the next season's going to come. And then all of a sudden in his dreams, time to pay the piper. You have committed some horrible crimes. You must now.
It's crazy though.
This year's gonna suck ass.
It's crazy.
Now stick this pineapple up your butt.
Whoa. It's crazy though, the world of professional sport. It is wild how when that's your skill set.
Yeah.
How when your body doesn't react the proper way, that's your choice. If we get sick at our job, we gotta rehab and go back the next day. Very different, obviously.
Well, yeah. If you're looking at it as a job mentality,
I watch, as you know, I love me a good docuseries.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah. And there's a documentary series I was talking about pro football earlier on Netflix. They cover a couple of quarterbacks and a couple of wide receivers, and it's really interesting. But they deal with the same thing. How it's they get injured and then they have no choice. They have to work their way back because some people are on a contract year. Some people, it's just there are so many layers to injuries, and I feel Wout, it's his job. It's what he does. It's all he knows. It's hard. I couldn't imagine mentally dealing with the fact that you're shit, I was just hurt. Now I could have come back from being hurt. It's so layered. Yeah. The injury process is. And
there's obviously more to it there because, that competitive nature has to be the main driving force. Because if it's a job, you can be fuck this, I'm going to be a greeter at Walmart.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't pay as much, but, but those guys get pretty good.
what's tough about this is it's like it's the perfect point where like the passion and the the passion for the sport and the fact that you're actually good enough to get paid for it come together, and you would want to do it every day and get paid to do it.
From your bad days you guys spoke about earlier, what was there ever a question, or was it just like, oh yeah, guess I'm gonna ride tomorrow? I mean, was there ever a moment where you're like going, no, fuck this, I don't know if I want to do this? Have you you've taken a time off the bike or a break from the bike because of bad moments? Sam, you're shaking you're nodding.
Yeah, I mean, after that year that I did the cross state, I was like, I'm going to keep doing this. And I took a bit of a break. Then I came back. And I actually was out for a ride with Paul. And that's what ticked over. I think it was like 5,000 miles for the year. But that included like massive breaks in it. And I still ticked over 5,000, right? Because I would did a big lead up, did the ride, took like 6 weeks off, came back, rode some in the fall. And then I didn't ride for 6 months. I was so burnt out. I was like, I hate bikes. Bikes are stupid. I don't enjoy any of this. And I just stopped. But I don't know. It's like you've talked about it in the past. Like you always come back to it.
Why? Why, though?
Like a dog returns to his own vomit.
To lap it up entirely.
Shit. I don't.
Holy
to
shit,
me, it's
where
always,
have you been? This is delicious.
Hey, second time around.
Oh, my God.
It still has that maple flavor.
Everybody likes their own brand.
Yeah.
Little acidity.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll be burping that up. Where's the Tums?
Yeah.
Anyway, to me, this is a sport that I never. There's times where I was frustrated and I had bad crashes and bad series of bad days or even a bad year, but it's always been that I knew I was going to return. I mean, that's just a personal thing because what I get out of it, even in the bad days, always seems to come out. I can find something that I can apply to even life. I know that sounds a little, sports and life, but I think it is true. It is the only sport that, because I played football, basketball, and baseball, and those things, I had to quit playing football is over. Once you're done with your career, it's done. You play flag and I did a little, pickup games in the fall, and then, we tackled each other and I broke my nose. It's like, this is stupid. Basketball, you just get to a certain age, you're going to snap your Achilles. That's like the number one thing. Just snap. And it's like, it's not worth it. I enjoyed playing basketball and pickup. I used to go up to Comstock Park all the way up until I was 38 years old and play against 18-year-olds and stuff. But, I can draw the line on that. But I picked myself off the pavement, I don't know how many times, hundreds of times. And, at that moment, you're like, this sucks. But then it doesn't take long. At least for me, it's like, this is what I get out of life. I love that. It's my escape. So.
Yeah.
You guys saw me after I had scab all over my ass this summer, and I was like,
God.
And you were like, I'm sitting here the week after, like, you're like a broken dog or something.
I was concerned.
And I don't know, my bounce back. Like,
and that was just no offense, but that was just rubbing wheels and just crash. But it just something happened right before that, though.
Yeah, I think it was just a bad RC3, and my bike was broken.
Stuff happened with your roof.
Yeah, my roof. Mm-hmm. It was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's just done. Yeah, but you always find your way back. I don't know. It's such a great thing. It's this community that we have at the bar, right? And whoever out there, like you have your cycling community, and you get back. Okay. I want to play around with this, and I'm basically taking moments from my weekend and using them as fodder for topics for the show. Because another thing happened on my way to the ride this weekend. I was driving the RV, and my wife's behind me in another car because we're rich. No, because
no, you're not. You have a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So do the other 1.4 billion people on the planet. But I'm driving the RV and in front, and she's behind me, and out on the flatlands. If you've seen Central Washington, you know that all these towns are like islands and seas of wheat and things like that. And so I'm cruising along, and out of nowhere, Bambi's mom comes darting out into the road, flying out into the road. I'm doing 65, out into the road. My instinct told me, because every person in the world has told me don't swerve. I didn't swerve. It didn't go into the front of the vehicle. It went right into the side, head first into the side of the vehicle. Crack! This sound. And I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and it just goes bam right into the side of the vehicle. And I looked at it, and it just spun around about 3 or 4 times and off to the side of the road. This deer, there's no way it survived this.
Mm-hmm. You didn't go back. You had venison.
Yeah. Well, I also didn't know the ethics of this situation. Am I supposed to go back, slit its throat, and drag it off the side of the road? Because I'm not that kind of person that can do that.
Washington.
Really?
WSP. Yeah.
Okay.
You say a deer hit
Really?
a deer on whatever mile marker you look at it, and they
Shit.
You ask for a quick tag and
Yeah.
I
didn't
quick
do
tag,
any of that shit.
tag it.
I didn't do any of that shit. I pulled over about a half a mile later and to look at the car, look at the vehicle. Fortunately, it's fine. I mean, there was a little crack on one of the panel doors from where strangely enough, the panel door it hit was the one that protects the vehicle from the propane tank. So I'm really Winnebago propane tank doors are deer proof. But I definitely killed Bambi's mom, and it wasn't my fault.
No,
the fucking deer just ran straight into the
probably
side.
Going like a good
That
30.
sucks.
Yeah.
They're just hauling ass.
Yeah. I felt horrible. I mean, I felt terrible. I don't
And
hate animals.
they can't stop on that hard with their hooves.
No.
On that, it's like Modolo's speedy brake. You're just
It's just like core.
Yeah.
And so that got me thinking about moments in the sport where we've come in contact with wildlife. For example, I personally, I where this studio is, we are maybe a mile away from a trailhead off the bluff. I saw moose down there in the middle of the trail.
don't hit one of those.
No. Yeah, right? Fortunately, I
wouldn't win in your Winnebago, and you won't win on your bike.
I grabbed both brake levers, gingerly picked up my bike, spun it around the other way, 180 degrees, and just pedaled away because I was told that. I once came across a mountain lion in the middle of the trail on a bike. Mm-hmm. But the mountain lion fortunately saw me and was confused about, wow, that guy's really heavy. He should be cycling more. No, he was... The mountain
What's he
lion
doing on a bike?
Yeah, he shouldn't
be at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't figure out the combination of the two and went darting into the woods. So, and many dog moments. I remember the late great Bruce Hunt cracking a Silka pump over the head of a pit bull that was charging us once.
That's crazy.
And all those types of things. So, have you guys ever had any major wildlife moments that you could think of that incorporated cycling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think my biggest one was... biggest one was a few weeks ago. I was out for a
Jesus, everything's recent with
gravel race.
You kids
gravel
don't
ride.
have any memories.
Yeah, well, the other one is a memory, but this one was I was riding out in kind of gravel area and moose, but sure enough, I didn't know that. We're riding, and I'm talking to my friend, and out of the corner of my eye, so I'm looking at him to the right, corner of my left eye, I see like this big brown object, and I'm like, that's a dog, and it's like what registers, but I'm like, it is full charging. Full speed.
Oh, fuck.
And I just started screaming. Like, that was my reaction. I'm like, just scream. And then he looks over at me.
It was a bull?
And he sees a huge bull moose coming running. And I'm like, well, we're dead. We're dead.
So on one side is a moose, and the other side
is my friend.
Is a friend. But was a dog?
Nope.
Just
that's the
one.
The dog is the later. But the bull moose is like... That was running at us. I slam on my brakes, and it comes skidding just in front of us, and a car comes around the corner, and then it turns around, and I'm like, we just escaped death, dude, and you now are steering it back at us, and it just comes running back, and I was like, sit. It's been nice.
Wow.
And like somehow it then veered off to the other side. Like it did like a quick look at us and decided where I'm going to go the other way. I was like,
holy shit. Oh my God.
I had brown chamois butter for the rest of that ride.
It just came up to you and was just like, hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Oops. What's been the other sleeve?
Oh, it was bad. That was probably the scariest one, and it was recent. The other one was me taking off a head of a pit bull, basically, unfortunately, because it was running at me, ready to take my leg, and I'm like, no. So I unclipped my leg and
Kicked at it.
kicked it.
You gotta.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, you're not going to take off my ankle, so.
Use a water bottle. You get in that situation.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you spray up
spray
the
him.
nose.
Yeah.
Most of
Hit
the
the
time I
nose.
can do that.
Yeah.
But it was just, I didn't see it. And so my quickest, like I couldn't grab my water bottle in time. It just came darting out of nowhere. So I just unclipped my foot and just,
Yeah.
but.
Then the owner's going to get mad at you.
Oh, they were so mad. And I'm like,
Your dog charged me.
your dog just ran out of the
Fucking
front
idiot.
yard
Yeah.
into the street
Yeah.
and was coming at me. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Sucks.
You bikers think you own the goddamn room. Tell you what. Who else has an animal encounter? Paul, I'm sure you like.
Tons.
grizzly.
I've decapitated birds, squirrels.
Oh, I've had some birds run through my front wheel
I
before.
had a squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, a squirrel?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Knocked the
God.
wheel out of true.
Hey, Rocky. Where's Rocky?
Hey, Rocky.
Oh, my God. Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Man.
That's a reference
That's
nobody's going to hear.
nasty.
Wow.
There was one ride, and it was a bad ride. It was another one of those bad rides
Yeah.
stories. We did Seven Hills, but extended to Clayton, Washington. And you start getting into, well, there's some people that are really spread out and are way off the grid type
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
We were riding, and there was a pack of dogs from a Chihuahua to like an English Mastiff size. And they were just like coming as like a dozen of them. They
Like
just,
the dogs pulling Yukon Cornelius'
Yeah,
sled.
exactly.
Just
Yeah,
random
the
animals.
random animals.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds
And they were coming at us, and we were
like, this is such an old story. I can already tell. Like, when the hell did packs of dogs stop happening? Like the 60s? Like, Jesus.
That's right. I think
Well, in the old days, you just point your 30-06 out the door. You can take one of them out, feed a family for a week.
doggone it. That's the last time you knock up my dog. I'm taking you out.
I've never heard a pack of wild dogs.
No, they weren't. They were from the trailer part, single wide.
Yeah,
So you know that
Yeah.
the income's
Oh,
kind of
shit.
low there. And I'm not feeling good. And I'm halfway through this ride. And it's going to be probably 80, 90-mile ride. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. And they're coming, and I scream, go home! And I'm at the back end of the pace line. Everybody's chopping, but I can't even take a rotation. I'm feeling so bad. And then all of a sudden I hear, pew, pew, and I'm thinking, either somebody's shooting at those dogs or they're shooting at us because I yelled at them.
Holy
I thought,
shit.
we're deep in the woods now. And no more than about 3 miles later, there's another single wide off the road, and there's this 3-legged pit bull. He's missing his front leg, and he starts chasing. And I'm, of course, I'm the last one, right?
Yeah,
So who's going to attack? He's like, oh, get this slow, dumb one.
yeah.
And so he's coming at him, and I could see him. Everybody's going, shit. They start sprinting, and I've got nothing in the tank. And there's a little ditch, and this 3-legged dog just, his front paw goes down, and he hits the ground, and I'm laughing. That dog came up, and he turned into Satan. There's, I swear, flames in his eyes.
Now
And
he's
there's
not
like-
only ravenous, he's
Yeah,
embarrassed.
and there's foam coming out. I'm like, holy shit, this dog's going to... I have nothing in my tank.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure I had my water bottle out, but I was like sprinting with one arm and looking back. I thought I was going to get
Oh, my
nailed.
God.
Yeah.
You got away?
I did get away,
Thank
but
God for the
he
trip.
was kind of like, I think he kind of knocked himself senseless when he went in the ditch.
Into Satan.
I never been down that road ever again. I won't. Oh, and the reward was we finally got to Clayton.
Yeah.
It was during March Madness, and there's this Clayton store. It was a convenience store and a gas station. It's like 2 other homes and maybe a post office there.
And tumbleweeds.
Yeah, and some place that has Huckleberry Shakes year round.
Damn
It's
right.
Like,
Yeah.
So we go in there and you open up the door and we needed water and like Snickers, that type of thing. And literally, you opened up the door, and there was a string from the door on pulleys that went back to the back room with Schmidt beer cans going. Clunk, 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 clunk. That's his bell chime as you entered. I'm not joking. This is. I go in there and I need sugar, so I like M&Ms. I buy some M&Ms, and we said, "Can we have some water? Is there possible to fill up with some water?" And this guy's got he's been eating Oreos, and he's got Oreos smashed. He's watching the NCAA
basketball
tournament
game.
Yeah, and it's packed in his teeth and stuff. And he's got overalls and wife beaters. I'm not kidding. And it's got pit stains, even as low as it was. It was. I got to get out of this place.
You're descriptive.
So I buy it. He comes out with a watering can, and he says, "Open up your bottle." And he wouldn't allow us to go into the bathroom. Or he brought out water in a watering can. I'm thinking he probably had antifreeze in there, and that's how he filled up his antifreeze in his truck. So I'm sitting there, and we start rolling down the road, and I open up my M&Ms. I mean, they're powdered. They're a year past sale date.
Oh my God!
These things were old and chalky.
Oh God!
It sucked that day. Pitbull almost ate my asshole.
You combined bad ride with an animal encounter. I should have just thrown them both into the same. Yeah.
I told you, I got tons more.
Jackson, you beat it. You don't have to beat it. I'm kidding.
I can't beat it.
Yeah.
I don't really have many animal encounters. I used to be kind of
Just
afraid.
dogs?
I used to be kind of afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
But I saw a bobcat one time when I was living in Portland, which it was on the road. Because when you ride in Portland, it's really interesting because you go from highway to the hills
In farmland.
in 2 minutes. It's really weird. And there's one route where you climb a lot. There's this really, really steep hill, and then you're just kind of going through houses with forests surrounding them and everything. And I saw this just big old, I thought it was a dog, but it moves like a cat. And it was a bobcat, and it looked at me and just ran away.
Wow.
That was really the whole story.
It didn't go.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It didn't growl at me.
Yeah.
But I was just the
That's
rest.
what you want.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever taken a descent that quickly though. I was freaked out it was going to try and stalk me, but then I really thought about it and I was like, no, it's.
I've seen some bear from distance, in Montana rides and in Glacier Park in Canada and stuff like that. But I've never had a up close encounter with a bear.
Have you seen that recent video that's on Instagram and everything about how this guy's going down on his mountain bike and he sees this bull and it's got those horns that you see in running away from they're running away from in Spain.
Yeah. It was a gravel ride.
Yeah, it was on his mountain bike.
Yeah.
And then it's right there.
It launched.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he goes down and he's just looking at this thing with the horns were as long as this room. They're massive. It was crazy.
And it chased him.
No.
Oh.
He just got up, was terrified, and then turned around.
Wow.
Crazy.
Speaking of, we got wildlife. That's perfect that the dog is barking in the back during that bit.
Ender?
Just mute David's mic, then nothing will be heard.
Yeah, you know what? David's mic is on.
That just shut him up.
I want him to
He
bark
was speaking
again
for.
now. I want him to bark again now. Listen to the fridge behind David.
Yeah,
okay, listen to this. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That is insane.
Sorry, I got a little distracted. Speaking of segments, who's got one for me tonight? You two got one or no?
Just go. I've been.
Okay.
I worked.
Paul, you got one for me? Okay. We got one. Me? We got Sam's segment tonight.
Yes.
But that's not your... I'm just going to say the segments are brought to us by our friends at Scratch Labs. By the way, the return of apple cider is here.
Ooh.
Scratch Labs apple cider. Screw pumpkin spice. Fucks pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. Go to Scratch Labs and get the best hot fuel you can find. Trust me, in a thermal mug. Put it in your Stanley. It's delicious with hot water. What?
You hear it too, right?
My wife? No.
It's you.
What are you guys talking about?
I hear voices.
It's probably my wife upstairs.
No, it's not.
No, it was mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where were you?
It's a podcast.
Great, Sam.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be thinking of one podcast. And I was going to give you I was going to give you a perfect intro.
Oh.
Fit tips with Bike Fit Sam from Ambassador Cycling. Get to ambassadorcycling.com today, everybody. What do you do when the bike just doesn't fit? That's the question. For example, people buying a bike for their kid. No, he's going to grow, so we're going to get this huge bike, and he can't even straddle it or something like that. Maybe not that extreme, but people who bought a bike on sale, they got a hell of a deal. Or even, for example, my tandem. My wife's, the new tandem we have was designed for a smaller stoker. How do you push the limits? Is there a way to fake it, or are you fucked?
No, definitely a way to fake it. The one that can be difficult and still achievable for the most part is if a bike is too big, it's really hard to make them smaller. Yeah. I did run into that in one of my fits today. I had a guy who was riding a 56, I think, 58, and he should have been on a 56, and it was the Trek style, so I had to cut the frame to be able to lower the seat because
it's like my bike.
Like your bike. Yeah. And so... But it was still, I slammed it even after that, all the way down. And I'm like, I probably could afford to go a little lower, but this is what we got. So it works, and there's a way that you can then, modify it from there. Like, we put on a shorter stem, and we move the seat forward, because that also essentially lowers your seat height. So there's ways that we can get around it. And especially, I think, for kids, kids are Gumby. You can, they can be so, improperly fit and still be safe on a bike. Honestly, I always tell parents, I'm like, keep them low. If they're squatty on a bike, that's okay. Unless they're a teenager, 16 and on, and they're racing mountain bikes or road bikes or whatever. Yeah, you want them to be more dialed in on the fit, but otherwise, I would always have a kid down a size. Buy him a bike that's reasonable, at the time, so that you're not putting on too big of a bike. And then let them ride it for a while. And maybe it's still too small, but they can keep riding it. Just put on bigger stem, bigger seat post.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make all that stuff work.
It's interesting how we've gone from, I remember, Paul, and you remember, centimeter increments in frame sizes. And if you were supposed to be on a 60, but you had a 58, that bike was too small or something like that. Now we're in small, medium, large, and extra large. And the range of adjustments you can make with stems, with seat posts, with saddle fore and aft, and things like that, and cranks, and it's just
the adjustability is infinite.
Is that better?
I think it is, because we can make a lot more stuff work. We can make, I always tell people, I can make a size up or a size down work for you. I'm a 61, I could ride a 58. It's not perfect for me, but I could make it work.
Yeah.
But then we have all those other areas that we're able to customize. And I think for the most part, it's better.
Yeah.
Being able to change crank arm length and whatever, how far you want to go into the weeds.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. The fit that I had today, his hoods were kind of slightly down. I'm like, did you start riding in the 80s? Probably 80s, yeah. And he goes, yeah. I'm like, you should meet my friends. Your fit looks the same.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
I guess I could do a segment based off of that. So was that bike that you had to fit for him being too big? Did he buy it used, or was it from a new store?
It was from a store.
Okay. So this is the part that's a drawback. I always refer if you know anybody and you're looking to buy a bike, or if you're a person with experience and you hear somebody buying a bike, I think it's really important to put out your services, or if you're a person looking to buy, somebody who has that experience, because so many times, even when I only worked 4 years in the bike industry selling bikes, that bikes would come in for repair, and I'm like, who sold you that? And there was one particular guy in town, was they had to push a model, whatever size, somehow he made it work.
Really?
And off they went. And the sad thing is, this person spent maybe a lot of money for them, not to us, but it was the wrong size. And I think that's awful. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I started looking at, speaking of the size and using stems and seat back and stuff, people that are my height at 183 centimeters, centimeters tall, they are riding 56s. And I'm like, I used to ride a 60. Now I ride a 58. And you're talking about some of these guys have 16 millimeter stems. And it's all about getting a race geometry good enough. We've talked about buying a new bike.
Yeah.
And I started looking at disc brakes because of that clearances. A 58, the wheelbase is stretched out a little bit so they can get that width and chain alignment for like 12 speed. On top of that, wheelbases on a 58 have actually stretched out like a centimeter at least, or maybe centimeter and a half. And we primarily do crit racing, and that changes the whole spectrum of how you corner. And I bought one of the most beautiful bikes in the world, and it was a DeRosa, and it had chrome lugs and chrome. This is back all steel. It was like a beautiful bike, but it was 3 centimeters longer than my Fuso that I had before. Wow. And that thing was like driving a bus.
Yeah.
But on long rides, it was so comfortable.
It's like a tandem on mountain bike.
So it really depends on, people need to pay attention, and that's why I think somebody like Sam or somebody, like if somebody comes up to you, if this person just, what kind of riding are you going to do?
Yeah.
I want to do gravel. Let's stretch this thing out. You know, I don't know. I want to get in racing. Let's shorten that wheelbase. Let's get. So
that's a really good point. And honestly, that's why like I have a lot of people custom bikes or some of them, but a lot of them that are just like, I'm looking at getting a new bike. I've like gotten into it, and I think this is my size, but I'm going to spend $5,000.
So they come to you prior.
Yeah, and then
Thank God.
Exactly, and I fit them, on whatever they have. Say, we go through, or they come up with me, like, I'm looking at Canyon. I walk them through, like, hey, what type of riding do you do? Steer them towards what type of bike that they might want, endurance, race, whatever. And then I show them all the geometry. I think you're going to be best on this. We can put your numbers on that. And then they come back for a refit once they get the bike. And, for like, then after they do a fit and a refit, you're looking at like $225 for your bike to be set for you. You're buying the right thing, and insurance on buying the right bike.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And Canyon's is confusing as shit. I put my measurements into Canyon's database, and it put me on a medium or something like that.
See, that's that shorter wheelbase.
And I bought a large mountain bike, and it is almost too short. Lengthwise.
It's super confusing.
I don't understand where their algorithm is trying to put us on such small bikes.
And well, Sam can, here we are. You can detest on this, but here we are, basically the same length.
Yeah.
My inseam is like almost 30, just shy of 36 inches.
Yeah.
What's yours?
32.
Yeah, so we would not technically be on the same size bike.
But we're both on 58s.
Yep.
Yeah.
And look at my stem is at 13.
Yeah.
And yours is what?
110.
Yep.
Which is weird because you got a longer body.
Yeah. I should be on a longer stem.
Yeah. It should be the other way
You should
around.
be on a higher seat post length.
Yeah.
Well, your fits are also entirely different.
Yeah.
Your fit is from the 80s.
Yeah.
It just is. Like we tried to change that.
I don't look like Spider-Man on the side of a wall when I'm riding. You do.
Yeah.
You're all stretched out. Just, that was a bad reference, wasn't it?
And
you gonna make fun of that one, Jackson?
You know what?
You gonna pull that one back on me here shortly?
Yeah, since you're minus
steam.
1050.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm losing steam. I don't have the whip.
You know the whip. Yeah. I'm here for the endurance. You're apparently just over quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
deal with it.
Youth.
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to have some fun before we go out?
Yes.
Before we go out, I don't know if I have an outro for that one, but no, I don't. So we're not going to do that. But we're going to have some rank your FOMO. All right. In case you don't know what FOMO stands for, is for fear of missing out. All right. And it is by the way, I am also a psychology minor, so I know my cognitive biases. So, and FOMO is technically a cognitive bias that we put a shortcut in our head or something that we think that is a logical solution, but economically it isn't. We all, I'm sure, have some form of FOMO, especially when it comes to cycling, be it events, be it equipment, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys either provide an example when the question asks for it, or to rank your FOMO on 1 to 5. 1 being the least, 5 being, holy shit, I need it now. I'm Veruca Salt. I don't care. Don't care how. I want it now. Okay? So we're going to start off with, give me the brand or make of helmet that you are most FOMO. Jackson, do you have a brand of helmet that you were just like, I want that. I want that. I see it on people. It looks cool. I want that helmet.
That I'm sad I'm missing out on?
Yes. Feared.
Oh, that I'm
Worried about
scared
missing
of missing
out
out
on.
on?
Or if like a new one comes out of that brand, you're like, I need that.
Yeah.
Can I say POC?
You can say anything.
Okay, I would say POC because it's the only brand of helmet I'll probably ride.
The new design.
I kind of like the new one. It
Big.
kind of
The
grew
Arrow
on me.
one with the little shade.
No, screw that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
That sucks.
all right.
How would you
Yeah.
rate your POC FOMO then on the new model? 1 to 5.
I rate it like a 2.
2. So you're
I'm-
cool. You're not in a hurry.
I'm not really that stressed about it. Yeah.
Sam, what's your helmet FOMO?
Specialized.
Specialized. How badly do you want the new one?
Bad.
Well, don't
Jay?
you have the new one?
A 4 or 5?
Yeah, I mean, but I have like one of the new ones. I have the.
You want the Arrow one?
I want the Arrow one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably like a 4 or 5.
Okay. Paul, I know your answer. Jiro, do you have a new one that you're like, oh, please?
No.
Okay.
It's 1.
Okay.
But like when a new one comes out.
Yeah.
you're-
Or
yeah.
when I hit my head and crack it, then I'll just have to buy the next one.
I'm the Cav. KAV.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
Those basically 3D
printed.
printed helmets.
Mhm.
Because I have a weird head. I have a huge
You
head.
do
by
have
the
a
way.
weird
I
head.
fall
It's
apart.
look
Very
at it.
round.
It's just weird.
And it won't
Yeah.
stop growing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what they say. Your head
Are you
keeps
getting
growing.
smarter?
I don't think so.
Like Barry
I don't think
Bonds.
so
I-
either.
my math still sucks, according to my son.
Yeah.
Well, you did minus 10.
It was a joke.
Mhm, felt real.
Dill said it.
Yeah.
But I want to. I think those are cool. I would wear one of those.
Mhm.
And I've yet to find the helmet that can handle my sweat. Holy shit! From that ride on Saturday, you should see the salt on my straps. Sorry if I'm boring you, Jackson.
No, you aren't boring me. It's
Anybody got a shoe FOMO that other than the ones you've got now?
Specialized.
Specialized, Paul?
It's
No?
CD, and I got
New
one.
ones came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the newest brand of the shoes that I like.
You
so I
do.
don't really have.
You do.
I don't have that, yeah.
I already ordered new ones because David got them.
I like my CDs. I would go back to Giro. I like the Giro shoe, but I don't like the laces. The laces look cool, but I want to be able. I don't know why. I've got that. I gotta tighten
Your
it up.
feet
We're going
swell
into
during
spring.
a ride. I don't
Yeah.
know. I always need to adjust my cleats.
Do you?
I think I probably would like the laces better because,
Yeah.
the bows have a tendency to go tick, tick, tick. And it reminds me
So
how
old.
much little time I have left in my life.
Tick, tick, tick.
I know Jackson's got an answer for this one, and it is against one of our current friends of the podcast. Tech, your head unit, your computer, your bike computer. Do you have a FOMO?
No, not anymore.
Really?
I looked at having a FOMO for another brand, and then I was like,
Really?
yeah, I don't think that it's worth the price.
Yeah.
Because realistically, what am I going to get differently from one brand to another? So,
I FOMO on tech all the time, though. When the Rome came out with the color screen, I bought that, and I don't know why, but it actually on the ride this weekend, I was able to tell my wife, "Hey, we're on a yellow part of the climb," and she said, "Okay, are we okay?" And I said, "No, there's red coming up. Like it shows
gets
the
worse.
severity of
Yeah.
the climb." She goes, "Any green?" And I'm like, "Not as far as I can fucking see."
Not until we
Yeah.
turn around.
Yeah, exactly.
They
yeah.
turn green.
Yeah, and so did my eyes.
Yeah.
Anybody got a tech? Any tech?
Yeah, I'm
geeks?
with you. I don't
Uh,
really miss
When
out
it comes
on
to head
tech.
units and stuff, it's just whatever you dump and give
Yeah.
to me.
I
that's-
FOMO out. Yeah, that's true. I FOMO out on like the new the bone conduction headphones. They've got a new model out that's supposed to have better bass.
Are those
and I love that
appropriate
kind
in
of
a group ride?
It's all about the
No.
base.
no.
Okay, cool.
way.
It's all about the
Cool.
bass.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Do
it
you know? Do you have somebody who
I
rides with
know
headphones?
the friend.
Rides with headphones?
Yeah.
In a group
Yeah.
ride?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No,
I
no,
know.
no.
Does
You
this
can
person
shame
like? Does this person
Eh.
like to swim and run?
Think so, but I'm not 100%.
Shouldn't be
sure
your
on
friend
that.
then.
Yeah.
And and I don't know if I would bash on that
I
person too
know.
much, but I also feel that sometimes it is just simply because some of these people train so much alone that
Yep,
they
they
don't
don't know how to
understand that
interact,
it's socially
too.
it's socially
It's
I
like
have-
it's the culture of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
have no problem. I actually listen to music and I have headphones when I'm
When you're
by
alone.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm never in a group.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
important to listen. I think
Yeah.
it's vital.
Well,
and
it's
it's probably not
safety.
smart even for me to ride, but I have it down low enough
Yeah.
that I do hear traffic coming.
These
so.
Aero what the fuck are they called?
Aftershocks.
Aftershocks. Yeah, I don't know.
Or I
where
guess
was going.
shocks now.
Yeah, are great because they sit outside your ear, and it vibrates the inner ear, so you can still hear everything while you're going. It's nice. But yeah, I'm the same way. I only do it alone. I'm not going to ride with other people that way. Any componentry FOMOs? You guys are all just completely content in your life, and I'm the only idiot spending money.
I mean, no, I would really love to have a new bike.
I would love a bike with Shimano Red, the wireless. I would not Shimano, SRAM Red. Sorry, with SRAM Red. Okay. I would ride. That will be my next group set, I think.
Yeah, I want Shimano. I want Ultegra.
I don't hate Shimano. Don't get me wrong.
I don't really want, the Di2, and
you don't want electric.
No, I would really love to have the mechanical stuff. I know how to work on it. It's easy to maintain, but I just know it's not going to work out for me that way. So that's why I'm stuck in limbo here, and I'm just going to keep talking to my wife about how I want a new bike. And she's like, just buy a bike, and then I'm not going to buy the bike, and then we're going to do it again.
Huh.
It's a loop.
Boy, I feel for your wife.
I feel for my wife too, honestly.
No wonder she said no when you asked her out.
Bike.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I just talk about it forever.
I do like mechanical. Yes, we always have to talk. That was the discussion when I bought the frame. Yeah. So it was down to I can get a new time, and it's rim brake, but I'm not going to Belgium. And I knew that. It wasn't like, can I have that and go to Belgium? Not, I need to get her approval. It's one of these things. We're on board. It's like, you know.
Yep.
And so the thing is I ended up spending 1/3 of the cost of a new frame and bought a used frame. And now I get to go to Belgium, but I'm not going to ride Comfort Plus. I have to ride with the cows.
Yes,
just
in the
not
back
Dave
of it.
and him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Chickens flying all over him, people, goats.
I'm going to sit next to him with a big old raw piece, big huge piece of jerky. You want to pull?
Yeah.
So when you sent that photo, I literally had the conversation because our wives are similar human beings. And
very much so.
Yeah, and I was like, I know how that conversation went.
Oh, yeah.
I know how you reasoned that. Yeah, you know what? All right, I'm gonna get this. Because
well, she was like, "Well, what do you needed a bike? So
right.
What are your options?" And we just sat there, and it was like this conversation. I was being realistic about it, so that's how it is. But I'm gonna get back to the wireless stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a little hesitation, and I just saw a video, a guy who just broke down like the front derailleur of SRAM. It was a force, and I'm like, oh, part of that. I know the mechanics of the mechanical is very simple. The electronic is like, oh my gosh. And I watched it several times. Like, well, shit, that's part of my fear of electronic is like that lack of repairs. Like, oh, well, fuck it. I'll just spend another, a rear derailleur is $900.
Yeah.
If I can repair it, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But, so that's now it starts going, okay, there is a potential of fixing things, So.
My Canyon mountain bike is SRAM wireless.
And it's awesome.
It's freaking great. I love it. I, until this moment, never thought about what's going to happen when it goes wrong. Thanks, Paul.
Break that derailleur. Yeah, that's
thanks a lot, man.
You're not going to go to Belgium. Just replace that rear derailleur.
Yeah, well, text us in the morning.
Yeah,
I'll
text you at 3. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go to the ultimate. Bikes. What is your bike FOMO that you are just like craving? If I don't get it, something's wrong.
I really want a time now.
You do.
My brother has one, and it is an aesthetically pleasing bike.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
It's pulling the trigger.
Yeah. And I probably won't. I'll just keep talking to my wife about it for a while.
Yeah. Jackson, I know you love your bike, but if you could, what would?
It is tough because I don't know if I would do.
Would you want a climbing bike? I feel like or do you like the stiff aero bike still?
I like the stiff aero bike. Honestly, I know my strength.
Yeah,
and I know that bike is light enough to do pretty much the best climbing I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's not going to be a limiting factor.
No, when we were on that Thursday night ride, I was like, the bike's not holding anything
pretty
back.
Slow.
Right.
I was thinking that from behind.
Yeah, you saw him up the road and went,
I saw you up the road and I was like,
slow.
he doesn't look very fast.
Yeah.
How did he get there?
Yeah. I said, you don't look very fast.
Yeah.
I said, no, look,
So it would be it would be between like a. I think I would go back to gravel if I had a bike that.
What?
Well, hear me out. I think I would go back to gravel if I had a bike that like worked.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe like a newer age mountain bike, because I did take your mountain bike recently
From 2016.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
I would be interested to see what like dual suspension and electronic shifting and one front chainring would be like. So I maybe would toy with the idea of a canyon of either of those disciplines.
Yeah.
I like the new it's not the Grizzle, it's the other one. The Grail, the more racy gravel
Grizzle
bike.
is a sick bike. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is,
Cost
I've started
Wait,
to.
Sam. I thought canyons were just bleh. Remember?
Oh yeah, I don't like.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that's
It's
why
just-
I said a time.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm saying I respect the game. Of a
Okay.
canyon.
So you respect
Like,
it
it's-
when Jackson says it.
Well, yeah, it's a very cost effective bike. You get everything about it. It's just not like romantic.
That's
Well,
the
it's
word.
romantic. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the only thing that would return me to gravel is like the racing part of it, and I would only get like a racing gravel
Geometry.
bike.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My
I want to be able to
gravel
go
bike is-
fast.
You
Just
don't
a
need to
machine.
put panniers.
Well, and that's what I have now, and I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
15 miles an hour is not
No.
the same.
No.
Yeah.
Paul, dream bike.
I don't. I
Follow
think
bike?
modern day bikes just don't turn my crank that
Yeah.
much.
Ah, see what you
There's.
did there?
I think there's a lot of hype. I'm a little empirical in the way that show me the the real scoop on things as opposed to a bunch of marketing hype.
Starting
you know?
from the 70s,
it's huge.
show me the differences.
They're huge.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah,
How much
believe
time we
me.
got? Yeah.
And even
It's a 90-minute
I'll say
podcast.
I loved, and I was a steel man all the way until I rode my first Cervelo that I had. Is like, holy cow, it's different. Now longevity on a steel bike, it's not going to be there, and
So
it
wait.
wasn't. It was a year and 4 months, and my next one was a year and 4 months, and then
Longevity on a carbon bike.
and a carbon
Yeah,
bike
yeah,
was
yeah.
a year and 4 months, and then even this is my third BMC in 12 years, so.
So let's do the math here, right? You started on a steel frame bike in what year?
84 was the first purchase, but I actually started riding 85.
Okay, so 85. And then you switched to carbon in what year?
2008.
Okay. Wow. 23 years,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I shouldn't look at you for that. 23 years,
Oh
right?
Jesus!
Yes.
Okay. So, 23 years from 2008, right,
Uh-huh.
is going to be 2031. Am I right on this? Did I do that right?
I don't know what you're trying to figure out.
I'm trying to figure out when
Yes.
he's going to step into the next bump of tech.
Well, I
Oh,
don't think it's advanced.
2031.
Here's a
Mark my
discussion
words.
then. That because 12 speed, when speed started increasing, what happened is for me when you start off with 5 and 6 speed, 7 speed
Yeah.
came out, you filled something in the middle. When you crit race, you wanted that in between, as opposed to like you go from a 14 to a 16. You know, you're like spinning down band, and you had down tube shifters. Now you start stacking it up. 10 was the ultimate. And now what I do with the 11 is I add a climbing gear that I touch when I climb.
It's
It's
a
pristine.
20.
Yeah,
It's
but they're
pristine.
23.
they're
Yeah.
grouped together tight, so
You
you,
can-
know one
you can
gear
s-
from the next.
You can see a reflection in his climbing gear. It's
Yeah.
so unused.
We're
Yeah.
talking about the cassette, right? The
Yeah.
23
Yeah.
that says
Yeah.
climbing gear.
No, it's a
23.
25 now.
Oh,
I'm 61.
you're getting old, man.
Jesus.
And I just bought a 28. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But
Wow.
the thing is technology and frame sets and Grupos. Now, once we went to the STI, was the first one to come out with Shimano brake lever, shift lever. That was a major advancement in bike technology, without a doubt. That was huge. Electronic, of course, I haven't done long term, but experiment a little bit with riding friends' bikes and stuff like that. It's impressive. It does, but it's not going to
Jackson's
win me
is
a
great.
race.
He's just beautiful.
And the cost between a mechanical and electrical is not. It just doesn't meet that for me.
But you're counting the days though. It's going
2031.
away. It's going away.
Yeah,
2031. He'll
Call
sit.
this
Yeah.
He'll sit.
podcast.
I'll probably have an
2031,
electronic,
Yeah.
Group
so we
set.
can go
Yeah.
back to it and he is.
Yeah, but the
in new
electronic group set is going to be fastened to one of those chairs that takes you up the stairs.
era. It will probably have a motor on
Yeah.
it.
Look,
Yeah.
it's
Jump you up.
it's Shimano. Oh, I remember that. Bell rings. Bring me my supper. Ding 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 ding. He's at the top of the stairs. Power goes out. He just dies upstairs.
Yeah. Skeleton.
I don't know if I have a bike FOMO. I mean, there are, yes, to all the above.
Now, here's
kind of
something
thing like that.
Do you think, starting with Jackson, you guys, I'm taking over your podcast.
I
guess.
see that.
Was there a kind of a period in your life, whether it was, I pushed the mic away, that all of a sudden these bikes are coming, I got to have that. I got to have that.
I don't know if the bikes started to come out or if I just noticed the limiting factors that I had. Because I went from aluminum to carbon, and
Yeah.
it is a difference.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to close that gap on other riders. So that was when I was like, I want an upgrade, you know.
I feel like you and I are very similar in a lot of ways, Paul. And that, like, I was working at a bike shop, and it was like, I gotta have that, and like
Yeah.
Tech was rolling off, just like mad at the time. Tom Boonen was like my hero.
Yeah.
You know, he was riding Specialized. We were sponsored by Specialized, and so it was, yeah, I was getting stuff left and right. It was Candyland.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that changed sometime around 2016, 17, probably. It was kind of like, I like what I have.
Oh, I mean, you know, I joke that I want the new stuff. I would go out and buy the new stuff if I could, but my Giant is still riding really well, and I keep looking at it every year going, I have 3 sets of wheels for this bike. If I go out and buy a new bike, I have 1 set of wheels for this bike.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, you know, but
That's-
that's
yeah.
bothering.
But
I think my cutoff too is like in the mid, teens that we had, up to about right before COVID. There was such dramatic changes and stuff, and things were getting lighter, and there was like technology was improving. But now I think around 2016, 17, it just seems to plateau off, and they're like selling you, I feel like, a bill of goods. Like, this is better. You got to have 12. Yeah, it weighs like another pound more, but weight is not an issue.
Yeah.
It was when I was riding, because I went from a 22-pound steel bike and to a 16.5-pound carbon bike, and it was at 48 was a major difference. So you can't sell me on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's like back to your point of like when things are really changing, like if there's a big jump again in tech.
So none of us have FOMO about anything, not even any events that you want to do.
No.
Wow.
Actually,
Just whenever I'm not
I want to
here.
do the Iceland Rift. I
kinda-
want to do that race, that gravel race. I want to do that one. I have FOMO with that one. When I saw Brent Soderbergh did that last, was it last year? I saw it and I went,
A landscape.
I want to go there.
Epic.
My wife's like, you can't. You're going to Belgium, remember?
Yeah.
Because that's what she sounds like.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that what she sounds like?
It's totally her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Michelle in here?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. She
yeah.
came in. Yeah, exactly. Are you okay? Do you want to pull over? She was like, fuck, are you going to be all right? Because I'm on the back of this bike and we're
Yeah.
going downhill. Am
She
I
sees your
going to
body
die
just
first?
rocking
I'm
and
just
rolling.
like, well, she said I was actually making moaning sounds. I was like,
Mommy.
yeah. So I started to look like Nicolas Cage from that Long Legs movie. Looks fucking freaky. But anyway, we're rambling. Anybody got any closing thoughts on FOMO? No? All right.
I'll say it died in 2017 for me.
FOMO did. Okay.
Only when I'm not here.
That was nice. That was sweet. So let's get to the final K of the show. Gentlemen, what team is going to benefit from the rider transfers the most, in your opinion? What team is going to benefit in 2025? Jackson, I always start with you.
Lidl Trek.
Lidl Track. Sam?
Yeah, they have the most to improve.
That's not an annoying
Can't-
sound.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anybody else.
All right.
You took that long
Red-
to say nothing.
Yeah.
fuck's
Red
sake.
Bull Bora.
Red Bull Bora. Okay, I'm gonna just go out on a limit. I think Tudor is gonna have a better year.
Oh, yeah.
than he's had
Good
in a long
call.
time.
Good
Better
call.
having a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another Packfiller Cycling Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. It gives people a reason to find this show, and it helps us in the rankings and all those types of things, and it helps us boost our power. Drop us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Pat.
Fuck you, Dave.
Yeah. Fuck Dave.
I don't know if that was my last F or because I
No,
I've
you're-
lost track. I'm
yeah,
way
you
over.
passed.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
in
you were
the
gone
wagon.
in 5
I
minutes.
fell off the fucking wagon.
Mama
Yeah.
Waples is coming
Yeah,
down.
Mama
she's
Waples.
gonna cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, catch you next